forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
10 o'clock on this Wednesday night, and you'll notice that Storm Tracker Doppler is a lot more quiet now at this point. All the precipitation that we had from earlier on, whether it was in the form of rain or some mix or some snow, has now moved out of the area, leaving us mainly cloudy skies behind that and temperatures that are falling down into the 20s. 26 degrees currently in Champaign, same temperature in Danville, same as Pontiac as well. Mattoon is there as well, 30 in Effingham, and it's also 26 in Springfield, which is where we have our Flooring America weather camera up on a roofing dog on it. Camera moving around a little bit there because we do have some winds out of the northwest, with sometimes the gusts getting closer to around 20 to 25 miles an hour. But we are looking at less wind as we now go into the overnight hours tonight. As we go into our day on Thursday, we are looking at mainly cloudy skies. There will be some breaks in the clouds, so you'll see the sunshine at times. But we're waiting until tomorrow night for our next batch of precipitation. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
Hundreds of inmates at a correctional center battle COVID-19, but not just their physical health their loved ones are worried about. And bars and restaurants will soon open for indoor dining once again in one county. Who's going against state rules for a second time?
And every pet owner's worst nightmare came true for one woman. How Animal Control says a dog in their custody was accidentally put down.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
The whole purpose of a jail or punishment period is to learn from your mistake, not to make it worse.
But loved ones and advocates are worried about the physical and mental health of inmates living at the Danville Correctional Center as the number of COVID-19 cases there surges past 600. Good evening. I'm Mark Maxwell.
And I'm Jen Lask. Paul and Jessica have the night off. Tonight, 610 inmates and 50 staff are currently battling the virus. More and more family members are reaching out to me with concerns that not enough is being done to slow the spread of COVID-19.
Of course, he's not doing well with this. He's steady, like, I'm so angry, like, on how they treat us, but, you know, he can't blow up or get mad about it because he's an inmate.
Anxiety is running rampant at Danville Correctional Center as the Illinois Department of Corrections tries to stop a different kind of outbreak. Trevana Howe says her boyfriend, Lamar Stewart, was moved to a quarantine zone when staff thought his cellmate might have the virus. She says neither tested positive until several days after that move, at which point they'd already been taken back to the general population.
Concerns are that there's a lot of movement going on within the housing units.
Pablo Mendoza was released 2 months ago from Lawrence Correctional Center. He still talks to inmates there and at Danville.
If you're thought to have had the COVID, they bring you into a specific unit. They'll move somebody out to where you were at.
IDOC says a team deep cleans cells and inmates get bleach for their units, but multiple inmates and family members tell me it's too watered down.
So what is that going to do? Some water? You wipe it, you disinfect them with water? You know, that doesn't work.
I reached out to IDOC spokesperson to ask about Danville's cleaning supply inventory and those concerns about the bleach, to no response. As the COVID cases rise, Mendoza says the mood deteriorates.
Have no contact, you have no time out the cell, and when you do, it's nothing that's regimental.
Both he and acting director Rob Jeffries have said they've seen a link between the lockdown and assaults on staff.
That's like a ticking time bomb.
We reached out to IDOC not only on the cleaning procedures, but also on the number of deaths across correctional centers. That information is not included in the COVID-19 response page's updates each day. Officials have yet to respond to our requests for the latest information on that today. As of today, IDOC numbers show 322 staff currently have COVID-19 and more than 3,400 have had it at some point during the pandemic. 1,885 inmates currently have the virus. A third of those are at Danville. More than 7,800 have had it since March. The first 500 doses of COVID-19 vaccines have arrived in Vermilion County. The Moderna shipment included syringes, supplies, and vaccination reminder cards for the vaccine. Health Director Doug Toole says OSF also got 500 doses and Carl Hupston got 400. They'll focus initially on vaccinating healthcare workers and first responders. Toole says healthcare workers, in addition to fighting the pandemic, are serving as ambassadors in a way.
So as you're talking about the people who are posting pictures of it, I got mine. When they are doing that sort of thing, that helps to speak to the public as well about the fact that they're willing to do it, and hopefully more of the general public will then as well.
Vaccinations are set to start there next week.
All right, here's a common trend, a habit in 2020, looking at the COVID-19 numbers. You see here a jump in new cases and in deaths. The state reporting more than 7,300 new cases of COVID-19. 178 more people have tragically died with the virus. The positivity rate, that rolling average of how many tests come back positive this week, also rising up to 8.9%. More than 4,200 people are in Illinois hospitals right now. In Region 6, the ICU bed usage is going up as well, now at 69%. But in Region 3, it's dropping slightly, down to 72. And the county, home to the governor's mansion, says no thanks to the governor's COVID-19 rules. The Sangamon County Board announcing today they will allow bars and restaurants to reopen with 25% capacity limits in place. The Department of Public Health still has the entire state under an indoor dining ban, but Springfield Mayor Jim Langfelder says the county board's move today caught him off guard. He won't yet announce whether or not the city might enforce the ban or not. One Springfield restaurant owner hopes he doesn't.
We've done what they asked us. We've done what they asked us to the entire time. We've tried everything. We've got more heaters added to our tent, so it is a little bit better. We continue to add bubbles as we can afford to. So we're trying everything we can, but we really need to get back inside.
Those relaxed restrictions going into effect January 3rd, and restaurants in Springfield could reopen right in time for hundreds of lawmakers and lobbyists to return to the capital city. House Speaker Michael Madigan calling the House members back into a lame duck session today. That would start a week from Friday. It could last through January 13th. That's when the new General Assembly is scheduled to start, and incoming freshmen are sworn in. The Senate is also on standby to come back during that same stretch, though the chamber there has more flexibility and options to work remotely.
New tonight, within the next few weeks, some schools will begin welcoming students back for the first time since March. Urbana is preparing for a partial return to hybrid learning for varying numbers of students across all grade levels in mid-January. The district is set to go over plans for rapid COVID-19 testing next week. Blended learning in Rantoul will also be picking up back up next week as well. Former students at one school are using social media in hopes of creating change. Students at Blue Ridge High School are accusing an English teacher of sending unwanted and sometimes uncomfortable messages to minors. A Facebook page called Blue Ridge High The Reckoning has several accounts from people who say they had inappropriate interactions with the teacher. A former student posted on the page. She says she heard a conversation between the teacher and her friend.
One of my friends started talking about her relationship with her boyfriend, and about how they were having issues. And then the English teacher started asking her if they rolled around the hay yet, if she's ever rolled around the hay, how she feels about, just basically her sexual experiences with both this boyfriend and, her whole life.
A statement on the district's website said the district is not able to provide additional details or answer specific questions because of confidentiality requirements. When school starts on January 5th, Mrs. Flannel will be teaching English 1 and English 2 classes.
We have a Target 3 update tonight to a story we first reported last night. A state investigation could not find sufficient evidence to prove a woman's claim that a man from the Effingham Unemployment Office drugged and sexually assaulted her in 2018. IDES agent Charlie Holstein was still suspended for 1 week for making false statements during his interview about that encounter with the Office of the Executive Inspector General. But tonight, new friction between the union and IDES. Despite those serious nature of those charges, the Unemployment Office still never interviewed Holstein in person, allowing him instead to answer 7 generic questions in writing. When the OEIG flagged that as a flaw in the process, the former acting director of IDES agreed they should change their policy, but also appeared to blame the union, saying they may have to negotiate those changes with them. But tonight, in a response, a statement from AFSCME reads, contrary to the implication of the OEIG report, nothing in AFSCME's current collective bargaining agreement with the state of Illinois prohibits in-person investigative interviews.
A former paramedic will spend 13 years in prison for sexually assaulting a patient. 48-year-old Jeffrey Sanford of Gifford was found guilty in October. He forced a 49-year-old woman to perform oral sex on him in an ambulance last year. Prosecutors also say he had sexual misconduct with 3 other people including a 10-year-old girl. At his sentencing hearing, the judge said the former paramedic destroyed the public trust in calling for an ambulance. Here's an update. The Macon County coroner has identified a man killed in a crash yesterday. It happened near Route 51 and Riley, just south of Elwyn. Officials say it was a single-car rollover crash in a field. The coroner says 45-year-old Jason Stout of Mount Zion died. The cause of the crash is still under investigation.
Champaign County Animal Control says their workers are facing death threats tonight after a tragic mistake at their facility. Animal Control impounded this dog on December 18. Workers identified it as a mixed breed pit bull, but when the owner called in looking for their chocolate lab later on, the owner sent a picture of the dog, and that's when they realized perhaps they had misidentified it. The facility promised to hold on to the dog for an extra 4 days over the holiday break, but somehow that message didn't get through. The dog was ultimately put down.
We understand that we made an error. It doesn't happen often. We're very sorry about it, and we would like people to stop sending hate mail our way.
They did reach out to the sheriff's office to alert them about the death threats. The vet has arranged for the dog to be cremated and the ashes returned to its owner.
The next round of stimulus payments are starting to come in. Why some say there's still more that needs to be done.
Plus, looking for a job during these winter months where IDOT needs help to keep snow off the roads.